VAR centre stage at Molineux, whilst Liverpool rue their missed chances at Old Trafford again.
Evening, Tate.
Evening, Jack. You alright?
Yes, mate. How are you?
Very well, mate. Very well.
Good.
Can't
Good.
complain. Lovely summer's evening at the moment, isn't it? Been a nice summer's day.
It's been a nice few days, and today's no different. And the lighter evening makes it a bit more enjoyable for us, I think.
Nice weekend though.
Yeah, it's all right. Pretty quiet. Was that yours? Saturday, we took in the East Anglia derby, which, while we're here, what a disgraceful game of football that was. So boring. Norwich won. Ipswich couldn't beat them again. So, yeah, keeps the title race in the Championship exciting. But very, very good weekend. Yourself?
Yeah, no, very good. Yeah, both our teams got 3 points as well.
Yeah.
So always makes the bunker a happy place.
Yeah.
Long may that continue for the last 7 games. But I know you mentioned you were around mine on Saturday to watch the Anglian derby, and it was an absolute disgrace for the neutral.
Yeah.
But there was a very entertaining 3-3 draw in the Old Firm derby on Sunday afternoon. But can you name the Scotsman who has scored the most Premier League goals?
Okay.
And if you get it straight away, I'm gonna push you and try to get top 3.
Okay.
But for tonight's podcast, episode 92, buddy, we were just chatting off air, weren't we?
Yeah.
About how we think we've got the audio right now, and I'm going back to the very first episode when we forgot to plug the mics in.
We were talking into them, but we didn't have anything plugged in the right way, and basically sounded like we're in a tin can, and it was picked up through the laptop. So we'd like to think by now we're closer to getting it right, but even now we still get things wrong. So.
But having said that, I was just on the way here. I was listening to an Arsenal podcast, and they were stressing because they're having audio issues. I think they're on podcast 471, so there's still hope for us. Yeah,
it's definitely happens to everyone. But yeah, we'd like to near 100. I think it's better than it's been.
Coming up to 2 full seasons now. But tonight's episode will be focusing on Saturday's game between Wolves and West Ham and the VAR controversy around that. And then part 2 will be the title race. Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal all played, and how that leaves us and how the table is now. We'll talk about what that looks like going into next week's games. And then our usual prediction, team of the week, winner and loser. But let's start at Molineux. I actually fancied Wolves, to get a result out of this.
Yeah, well, I was with you and we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I fancy it as well. And obviously, it just panned out quite differently. And yeah, we'll get into the drama of the refs and VAR again. But yeah, Wolves I feel like they've been pretty unlucky this year. As you can't be unlucky, like it's just football, things happen. But if there was any other time for a team to be unlucky, I think Wolves could probably make a good case for that this season. I just thought, West Ham at home, Wolves are a pretty good side when they want to be, and I thought maybe 2-0, 2-1, but it was the other way around. Yeah,
they've made it hard to go there, and like you just said, they have been quite unlucky with refereeing decisions, and the old saying, it evens itself out at the come of the season. The next 7 games, they better be getting some decisions their way.
It feels like, I'm sure Wolves fans and Gary Neal would probably back it up, but it hasn't evened itself out for them at all, even from the first game at United away. So yeah, they've definitely had some poor decisions go against them.
And West Ham came into this after a 1-1 draw on Tuesday night against yourselves. Battled very well. Thought they put in a good show, and a draw was probably a fair result.
Yeah, I think so. The midweek game definitely. Yeah, it was for us and Tottenham, like a Spurs fan, it was not a classic game against West Ham, but he just like, right, get us away from West Ham. Let's forget about them until next season is done. We've had some bad results, but let's just move on. And I think a draw was more than fair.
And I think for me, Wolves have exceeded my expectations. I had them to go down this season because I just thought of the circus that was going on at the beginning of the season, and then with Gary O'Neill, unexperienced manager, but he's done a really good job. I think they're sitting, I think they're 14th, something like that.
They are solid mid-table. 11th.
And a player that has been playing out of his skin at the moment is that Ryan Out-Nouri. He's been scored against. He scored the other weekend against Burnley. Got the quote unquote assist. He got brought down for the penalty. Playing at left back, up and down. He's been there a few years now, I remember Nuno had him playing left wing back, and now he's playing in the back four. And they've seen some rumours that Man United are looking at him in the summer because they're looking for a replacement left back to help Shaw out, and Malacia seems to have fallen off the face of the earth.
Seen some funny things about that man. Yeah, rather not say.
But no, he's been playing very, very well, and he's the one that won the penalty, marauding from left back, driving in. Emerson brings him down. Foul for you?
Yeah, that's yeah. I got them mixed up earlier when I was doing my notes, but yeah, easy decision, definite penalty. Yeah, it was Emerson not had to make the tackle, but yeah, you could see that the ball's there. One of those times, and Artner just takes it away, and definite penalty for me. Yeah,
because it was a little while on VAR, wasn't it? That it wasn't. They weren't too sure who the penalty was for because, as you said, you were around mine, and Neil Lennon was the Soccer Saturday. The Soccer Saturday pundit. And you couldn't understand. No, he wouldn't make it clear whether it was a Wolves penalty or West Ham penalty.
He was just mumbling in his accent there.
And then when Sarabia stepped up and scored it, he said 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, it had no relevance. Like, you can't even say, obviously, Wolves, West Ham, totally different to the word Tottenham, and Sarabia's nothing. Yeah, it was very strange. But he said, even him, he was just like, what have I just said there? But yeah, it was very confusing. But yeah, like you said, Sarabia converted nice penalty as well against Fabianski. Normally has a very good record in penalties. So Wolves 1-0 up, and I thought, not going to win with 3 or 4, but yeah, they'll probably win that game 2-0 and carry on. But I think the first half, West Ham had no shots on target. They had a XG, I'm not into all that, but expected goals of 0.03 for the first half. So you can imagine the Moyes out brigade were in full force.
And obviously, with Sarabia scoring that penalty, that meant that West Ham have kept 1 clean sheet in the last 20 Premier League away games.
Bloody hell.
Which is something, but it just means I know it's such simple metric and a simple saying, but if you concede 1, you've got to score 2. It means that if they're not going to win a game away from unless they score 2, which they didn't manage in this game eventually, but it doubles
especially like you said, away,
the expectations you need to do.
Yeah.
Then it's going into half time. Just after half time, Emerson had a header disallowed for a foul on Semedo.
Yeah. We talk about the Wolves one later on, but for me that I couldn't believe it. West Ham have every right to be as annoyed as Wolves will be, and I don't know how you felt, but for me that's never a free kick.
So first glance, I thought I can see a push. This is talking like the normal in a replay in full speed, and then in slow mo, I'm like, where's the foul? And the match of the day only showed that one camera angle from behind, and then the commentator then said it actually got disallowed for he stood on his foot or something when he was jumping, but. I've sorry to bring up again, but when we went to Newcastle and had that abomination of a goal given for all sorts of pushing in the back, like how could you disallow that? And that again, it just the what's the word we're looking for? Not frequency, consistency. It's just mind-boggling.
They focus on Emerson's foot does touch Semedo's foot as well, or lands like whatever, but. Semedo takes a step forward with his left and a step forward with his right, realises that he's out of position, that Emerson's going to probably score, goes down, and chances luck. And it's not, I'm not blaming him, but it's just poor refereeing again. And I'd be fuming if you're West Ham. It's just a goal for me.
And where the referee disallowed it before it went to VAR, they're never going to overturn it.
They don't overturn it, but
they have all the buzzwords of the high bar, the this, the that. Is it clear and obvious? Like, what buzzword are you using this week, boys? Like,
what can we use today? Yeah, definitely.
But Emerson continued to be involved, and he actually, from playing left back, was over in the right hand side, I think he was, and then his cross was handled by Max Kilman. Penalty given straight away. VAR obviously checked it, and definite penalty. And Lucas Paqueta stepped up. Very, very unusual technique he has.
Yeah, his stutter run up never. I'd hate that if that was my player from my team, but he's obviously very good at him, so it works.
And keeper went the same way. It's quite a similar penalty in terms of where he put it to Sarabia's, but made that 1-1. I think it's the 78th minute that was.
Yeah, it was.
1-1, and then all to play for. And then, was it 5 minutes later, I think Creswell won the corner. And then James Ward-Prowse steps up, and obviously if you've been living in the UK, if you're listening in the UK, you would have probably witnessed Storm Kathleen. It's been going around at the weekends from Friday, and very, very high winds, and potentially could credit James Ward-Prowse for this.
I mean, they were talking about it still, but obviously he's very good at delivering the ball, so it was almost a typical Ward-Prowse delivery. But yeah, it was just poor poor defending, poor goalkeeping. Just I think Neil Lennon said it's just schoolboy stuff, and yeah, it's like under 10s when you or under 11s, whatever it is, when you first start 11 aside, you got a mini goalie. He's too small for the whole goal, and yeah, it's the kid who takes corners, the best kid who can kick the ball the furthest and hardest, and just flew in. But yeah, that was from the first half West Ham to second half West Ham. That was typical Moyes. I think at half time he took off Kufau and Souček, brought on Johnson and Antonio, and there's plenty of West Ham that were probably very happy to see the back of those two. And I think Bowen got dragged off through an injury in the 50th minute, 54th, and same with Ait-Nouri as well. So I think it sort of stop and started the game, and that probably favours West Ham and the way Moyes wants to play and what he wants to do. And yeah, scoring 2 goals through set pieces, yes, penalty and a corner, that's probably Moyes' wet dream.
Do you think he meant it?
Oh, the corner, no way. No, he means to whip in a under the goal, under the goalpost, or under the bar, under the goalie on top of his head, but in the melee. But yeah, I don't think he's meaning to do that.
When I was looking up, I was originally trying to find a teaser for who has scored the most corners, like an actual direct corner, and I didn't write it down because I was cringing at the word it was called. And I think if you score directly from a corner, it's called like a Olympica. And I was like, I'm not using that.
No, you can't say
that.
I
might have mispronounced it. It's something to do with the Olympics, because I think someone in the Olympics was the first player to score a penalty, and it was like David Beckham scored 2 Olympicas for LA Galaxy.
No.
And Thierry Henry scored
it's
1.
Definitely an American term. It has to be.
And Megan Rapinoe is like the only person to score 2 Olympicas in Olympics. I was just like, I'm down a rabbit hole. I don't need to be down it.
Now your phone's buggered. That's awful.
But no, that's what apparently it's called. Like, obviously, you have the Panenka.
Is
because a bloke called Panenka did it.
some bloke called Olympica.
It's called something down there, and I was like, I don't want to research this much further than I already have.
Stay away.
But like you said, that would have been Moyes' game, like a couple of set pieces.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. And then it was a set piece that caused the biggest controversy in the game. 95th minute, when it was late. Cause
I think 10
we've
minutes
got a little group chat. Yourself, me, and Nick have got a little podcast, like football chat. We tease each other on, and I think you jumped the gun a bit and was like,
I thought it was
4 points out of 4 points out of Wolves and Spurs, and great win for you. Moyes in, Moyes out, blah blah blah. And then I looked at my phone and was like, no, it happened. It was like 90+8, wasn't it? It was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It had come up, equalised, and then obviously there was the VAR check. What happened? It was corner came in, thumping header for Max Kilman, 2-2. On the face of things, can't see anything wrong with it. And then obviously Stockley Park get involved and start trying to disallow goals, because that's their job. What is your thoughts on this?
Again, like the Emerson disallowed one, I just don't understand. Like, if the linesman in real time would give offside, because obviously the bloke is clearly in an offside position, the linesman's looking across, then gives the offside, then they check it and go, oh, he is, but he's not affecting Fabianski. Fabianski can see straight past him. He can move left. He can move right. He can do whatever he needs to do. Again, I just couldn't believe it. And you saw the outrage from Gary O'Neill and the players, and I just echo their opinion and what they're saying.
Gary O'Neill was very, very upset. I've got his quote here. For me, though, I think it's very harsh, and I personally don't want to see goals disallowed for that whatsoever. But I can't not say I think it's been very consistent that goal has been disallowed all throughout the season. I remember Maguire had one against Fulham, and there's been some others. Well, I think are all poor goals. I think that you shouldn't disallow goals for being interfering with play, because you saw last season with Rashford, and that wasn't interfering with play. But as soon as you interfere with the goalkeeper, it's a completely different ballpark.
And that's the same with the fouls
on goals at corners. I don't want to see goals like that disallowed, but for me personally, I think that's a consistent decision throughout the season. But I think it's an absolute bullshit call to be disallowed.
No, you're probably right.
It's been a consistent call. Not at all what I agree with, but it's just been... I can't remember the other goal. I remember it in my head that it was just...
No, you're right. I'm the Maguire one as well at Fulham. I remember it. It was
he was interfering with play, but every play interferes with play because it's a football pitch.
No, you're right. And It's for me. Yeah, it's just a.
But
you'd be fuming. You'd be.
Can you imagine? I always try and put myself in this situation. That could cost a league title. That could cost your league, and that could cost your position in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm being a bit harsh by saying this because it's West Ham Wolves, and because there's lots riding on every game of football.
No, I know.
And because it's a 3:00 game, and it's not televised. And I remember I said against Liverpool, Man City, when Doku did that challenge. The easiest thing in the world is just not to give it.
Because the whole world is watching.
Because the last thing you want to do is make VAR get involved in the 99th minute in the biggest game of the Premier League and everyone's watching you for a decision that could be 70-30, 60-40. I don't know. Some people still think it's a foul, some people don't. And they just don't want them stuff that you know exactly when that goal goes in, they're all panicking and they're like, what are we doing? Like,
no, it's just exactly that. It's like it's sort of late in the game out. It's 2-1, it's whatever it is, and 2-1 West Ham is riding out, and we're just gonna have a little jolly up. But yeah, that happens, and oh shit, we have to actually think about this and make a decision. But yeah, it's the wrong decision. But like you said, you're right. And throughout the whole season, those moments, those little calls have been consistent. So,
and I think it was quite interesting that 3 people on Match Today who had all played the game said it was a rubbish decision, and Gary O'Neill said it himself, and he says, I think when the presenter asked him, what reasoning do you think that could have been disallowed for? And his exact quote was, if your knowledge of the game is really, really poor, I can see why it's offside. Yeah. And the law states, and I've copy and pasted this, the attacking player is penalised for preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by clearly obstructing the goalkeeper's line of vision. He wasn't in the line of goalkeeper. And I think what's quite telling is if you watch the replay again, not one player claims for offside. The goalkeeper doesn't. And normally you've seen goals before when they run the goalkeeper himself. Remember Cassius Schmeichel did it, or I could just picture him running at a goal. A ref screaming his head off. There's other players that scream and say he's interfering, he's in my way, and then that tells the ref a story. But no one even looked at it. No. Cresswell, first thing he did was punch the floor. He was that pissed off, and he was the closest one to it. It was Cresswell. I can't remember who the player was who was obstructing, well, quote unquote, obstructing Fabianski.
Yeah, he was like a 20-year-old. He's number 62, like Chihuahua or something.
But I thought there were no complaints from the players. It's always quite damning.
Yeah, and you're right, and the rule itself, like you just read out, the word for word, what happened, the instant disagrees with it straight away, because Fabianski can see the ball, can see a line of sight through the melee of players. He can see it and he can make a decision. So that rule, it disagrees that rule immediately, so it's a goal. But they have obviously interpreted another buzzword, interpreted it that way, and given it as a disallowed the goal. It's just wrong.
I mean, the interference of players has always been a murky one for me, because how can you not interfere with a player on the pitch? Like, it's just because
even the times when and it's right to let the goal or whatever happens play on, when the player stands like a pencil and doesn't move, even the goalie will see that player standing still like a pole and not get in the way, but in the goalie's mind, that person's still there. I know he's focused on the ball and whatever's happening, but even that is technically interfering with play. So yeah, he
doesn't touch the goalkeeper. He doesn't get interfered with. The goalkeeper doesn't push him out the way.
No.
He's next to him, but like he's not directly in front of him. Like he's in line of sight, but then there's a few players that are probably in his line of sight. Well, again, I know they're onside, but
he's watching the ball, and there's a player. It's just I think it's just a rubbish decision.
Yeah, if that was me, and that happened at the weekend or tomorrow night, you'd be sick, wouldn't you? Especially when it's an important goal like that. It's cost you a point, isn't it?
Yeah, Wolves have got an outside chance of trying to get into Europe, and that's a valuable point to them, and obviously 3 points to West Ham. That carries on where they are. So it's just another VAR disaster, I think.
And that point, them 3 points put them level on points of Man United, I think, at the time.
Yeah, at the time it did. Yeah, after the weekend they're 7th, and they're currently 1 point behind United, but played one more. And big week for Europa League as well.
Yeah, that's my
Leverkusen coming up.
Undefeated Leverkusen.
Yeah, obviously they're having a brilliant season. They're brilliant in the Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso's doing a brilliant job, but I couldn't name you 3-4 by Leverkusen players. I couldn't do it, and it sounds naive, but
Granit Xhaka, mate.
I
It
think
made all the difference.
I think West Ham could go and play them over 2 legs and actually get a result. And that sounds ridiculous, but I don't know. I just have that feeling that it's one of those things. But I don't know. Could be horribly wrong.
I think they're a very solid team, well coached, well drilled, know what they're doing. They've got a fluid setup where they play the wing backs and then they come inside. And then the wing back that actually reminds me a little bit of Conte's first Chelsea team, where Moses and Alonso were absolute animals for like 18 months, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I think it's Frimpong and Grimaldo. I think they've got another 3 that just have got between them about 40 goal involvements. They're just literally numbers off the absolute chart. They've got, I think it's Florian Wirtz is like their Odegaard, a creative little player, and striker. I can't remember the striker's name is, but yeah, they look pretty solid setup, and it's probably by Liverpool the toughest draw that West Ham could have got.
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. And if West Ham get through that, they'll be absolutely buzzing. But yeah, I don't know, West Ham in Europe, the way again Moyes, the way he's set up. I know they despise him, and a lot of them don't like it, but it's ideal for Europe. And yeah, I think it. Don't know.
Away leg first as well, isn't it, on Thursday?
Yeah.
So, but all in all, a very positive week for West Ham.
Yeah, like you said, 4 points. Tottenham home, Wolves away. Still in Europa League, sitting 7th, 1 point behind United. Yeah, not a lot to complain about.
Not a lot to complain
unless
about.
Unless you speak to a West Ham fan, but yeah.
Right, should we move on to the title race?
Yes.
So, like I said, you were around mine on Saturday afternoon, and I feel like I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to try and continue without sneezing. And we decided to watch the East Anglian derby, maybe foolishly, because the Palace game, Palace Man City, was a pretty entertaining game by all accounts. 4-2 could have been anything at half time. Could have been 3-1 Palace. It probably should have been it, posting at the crossbar, I think. Potential penalty as well, but there's lots of controversy. Absolutely worldy from De Bruyne.
Yeah, very good goal from KDB.
And I think City just showed their quality straight from depth. That although they had a bit of a shaky first half, and they could have been 2-1 down, and they did start with Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis. They made a couple of changes, although they brought in De Bruyne and Haaland.
Yeah.
They still put Palace to the sword, basically. So
yeah,
in that second half, they just switched on a level. Pep had a few words in the dressing room, and they just went up.
The first goal was a bad mistake from Stones, and he was caught out, and Palace Mateta runs through, makes it 1-0, and like you said, it was a bit of a wobbly first half from City, but yeah, they showed how good they were or how good they are, and certain players turned up, didn't they? De Bruyne 2 goals. Do you see his left-footed goal? It's like a classic, like weak foot, just everything behind it. It was quite funny.
It's such a weird technique, wasn't it? But
and he's obviously scored incredible goals with his left foot, but that particular goal was just like, that was awful. It was so bad, but yeah, can't argue with him. So
yeah, 2 goals and assist, and Haaland broke his goal-scoring drought of 3 games, I think. 4 games.
Must be sad times for Haaland.
19th Premier League goal of the season. And then, like I said, De Bruyne's 4th goal put it to bed. I think, what's his name? Usain Edouard got one back.
Yeah, he scored towards the end. Yeah, it was Edouard.
Palace haven't really had their new manager bounce. 1 win
in
5 or 6.
Yeah, no win in 5. Liverpool away next. They'll be safe, but I think it's similar story with them. They're in that mid range. They could be 15th. They could be 10th. But yeah, I think it's for them. They want to get to the end in the summer. Let Oliver Glasner do what he's got to do and see where they are next season. But yeah, no win in 5. It's like you said, the new manager bounce has not quite happened. Yeah,
like I said, I don't think he got a January to get any players, and there's still Joe Ward still plays. We said it on Saturday. He's been there 27 years.
Yeah.
But that is Man City, 25 games unbeaten in all competitions, and that's a big week for them with Real Madrid tomorrow.
Are they away or?
They are away, yeah. It's at the Bernabeu. It's at the Bernabeu tomorrow. And then they've got Luton Town at home on Saturday.
Is Alberto going tomorrow?
Yeah, he'll be there, He'll be there.
Love it.
He'll be there. Booing Haaland. And
Love it.
No, I'm looking forward to the game. I won't watch it, but it will be...
I wish I was in Pappy's. Nannies. I wish I was in Nannies watching it.
That'll be some game. And that put Man City second, so they moved from 3rd to 2nd, 11 points to Liverpool.
Yes.
Inferior goal difference to Liverpool ahead of Arsenal's game later on that day and Liverpool's game yesterday. For me personally, I still think Man City are the favourites. They've been there, they've done it.
Yeah,
they've got the biggest squad. They've got the best players.
They've got it all. They've got the best manager. They've got the history. They've got the best, like you said, the best players and the best players that have done it. Like De Bruyne has done it. Haaland done it last season. Rodri feels like he's been there forever. So yes, I think it's just incredibly tight. I wouldn't say Arsenal are clear favourites or Liverpool are so bad. It's just there are three sides that I can't see losing. So. And then whether that plays out if it's goal, it could be goal difference. Who knows? And moments, injuries, don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But how they're going to drop points, I can't see it. To be honest, yes, Liverpool drew yesterday, but that's not a disaster result. They're still in a very, very fabulous position.
So jumping the gun a bit, but talking about Liverpool quickly, Carragher actually wrote a really good article in the week about Liverpool's title run, and they've got 10 games. He wrote it with like 9 games to go, but they had 10 games to go. 2019, I think, when City beat them by 1 point. I think it was like 99-98. And Liverpool dropped 2 points. They dropped 2 points in 2 games in that run-in. They won the other 8, and it was away at Old Trafford and away at Goodison. And he said, which is really true, and I always agree to it with Old Trafford. No matter how crap they are, that's always a tough place to go. I said with Liverpool last year, they were pretty pants last year. I know they won their last like 10 games to sort of mitigate how bad their season actually was. Right. But they were really, really poor last year, and they just about missed out on top form, and they should have been miles off. But Arsenal went there full of confidence, and it's still a place that we didn't win there because we haven't won there in yet, but it's a place that's just tough.
Yeah, and you're right, and it doesn't matter. Like I think Carragher, I heard him say a similar thing, but yeah, it doesn't matter who's playing for them or how you turn up, how good you might be, but yeah, Old Trafford is notoriously difficult, and I think it forever will be, and that's why they'll always be in the top end of the table. They're not playing very well at the minute. There's lots to discuss about them, but yeah, and especially that fixture, Man United Liverpool, that the form book, the classic saying, the form book goes out the window.
But we'll get onto that. But then on to the 5:30 game, Arsenal Brighton.
How's you feeling?
Well, I do get quite stressed before getting... anxious is probably the word I'm looking for. When I'm not at the game, I do get just... It's stupid about nerves. I just need to like settle down. Because I hate waiting. I don't like watching all the pre-match stuff and they just talk nonsense. And it's just like they hype everything up and then they say this and say that. And I just want to turn it on, game's on, ready to go. Like, now we can get into game mode. Because otherwise you just hear opinions and you think about things and you don't need to hear any of this. But the team was pretty much how I expected. Zinchenko started. Wasn't too sure if he would or not. What makes me think he's now going to start tomorrow, which I don't know, made me a little bit nervous. But no, we played really well. I thought that we started brightly. Should have scored if Gabriel the header. Yeah, Saka had a chance that he should have scored. Gabriel Jesus had a good shots saved, and he had a header that he miscued. And I didn't want to think, we're losing chances here, They had one shot, I think, from Angria. Is it Angria?
So yeah.
That was
the winger. Yeah.
And Senso had one at 1-0.
Yeah.
But we were dominant on the ball. We played well. We looked like we were there for a bit. We looked like we meant business there.
Yeah, you were well in control.
And the first talking point was when Gabriel Jesus got one-on-one with Lamptey, cut inside, went down. In real time, I thought penalty. It looks a penalty. He does get a touch of the ball, very, very faint. But for me, I still personally think it's a penalty because he clatters him still.
Yeah, I was like you.
He can't get the ball. Yeah. He can't then get the ball.
I thought nothing else, and even when they're showing the replays, it was like, okay, yeah, like you said, he gets a smidge of the ball, but the way he swipes and he's obviously going for the ball, but he essentially doesn't get it, and I just don't know why there was even an argument against it.
And De Zerbi even said himself that he said it's a clear penalty. Yeah. And Saka stepped up. They do the old usual. Odegaard stands there first, gives it, and then Saka stepped up. Very confident penalty, slots it away. 1-0. That was his 14th goal of the season, I think.
Yeah, it's his best return, isn't it? I think.
So far.
I think he might
equal last season's, but very well. And he should have scored earlier, but he would have been hungry to get that goal. And I think we managed the rest of the first half. We had a couple of chances. Havertz could have got one, but then you said Enciso had that good shot. Was a great save from Raya. Maybe a little bit for the cameras. But
yeah, I thought it wasn't a comfortable save, but it was. Yeah, the shot was just not start. It didn't start far enough right, but yeah, it wasn't a comfortable save. But yes, it also was a bit dramatic. But yeah, definitely a save to be made.
And then the second half, I think we continued our dominance. Really had a couple of chances, but then in the I think it was late 60th minute, something like that, Jorginho somehow found himself right wing. Saka was on the floor, and Jorginho did the overlap 1-2 of Odegaard, played across, and I was screaming for him to just make the overlap because I thought he was just going to go back in and play safe, but he went and did it. Havertz made Inter outrun, ran in, smashed it home, 2-0, and then I was like, right, now I can relax a little bit because I know what we've done. I've seen what we did against Luton and what we did against City. We can be very solid in there, and when they want to be. And what a really interesting thing I found out, because you noticed it from the eye test, but when you actually hear the numbers behind it, when Havertz scored that second goal, I think it was like the 67th minute. For the next 20 minutes, from the second goal to the full-time whistle, Brighton had 82% possession.
Bloody hell.
One shot.
Yeah.
Arsenal had 18% possession, 7 shots. Because they just sat in and they were like,
soaking it up,
break it down, and we know you're going to overload and you're going to
Mhm.
take chances to try and get that goal back, and we'll hit you on the counter-attack. And that's exactly what they did with Trossard. And it looked that way. Arsenal purposely said, come on, break us down, because we know we've done it at the Etihad. We're confident that we feel that we can do it here. They made a couple of changes. They took Zinchenko off, put Tomiyasu on, and that locks that left side down. He's very, very good one-on-one defender, a bit like Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka made
until the weekend.
until the weekend. But that's his role. He's like a closer. He'll come in 20 minutes and try and lock down. It was Ngria who was causing Zinchenko a few problems, but Tomiyasu, he didn't get a sniff out of Tomiyasu. And then he brought Martinelli on for Saka, and Trossard came on for Jesus, and that were the counter-attacking options to break us down. We got that little bit extra pace now, and we saw that with the Trossard goal. They overplayed. Havertz picked it up, one pass, and then Trossard's got a whole pitch to run into. I wanted them just to bury the thing. I was just like, please score. He does a little shimmy. It was a lovely little finish in the end.
Yeah,
and then
that was it, wasn't it? Confirmed a comfortable evening for Arsenal.
Sort of does a semi-celebration.
No, it's alright. I didn't mind it.
It's like hands out, like.
At least he didn't go, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you just scored. You're going for the title. Like, celebrate, you twat.
They booed him like he's got to celebrate. I quite like when they celebrate.
Yeah.
And that moved us top a point above. No, a level point above Liverpool at the time. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And I was really, really impressed with that performance. We're the first team to win at the Amex since West Ham actually did in August. Only second team that have won there all season. Do you know, actually, when I was watching it, I realised what Amex stands for.
American Express.
Yeah. Didn't realise that.
You didn't know that?
I knew it because I was like,
yeah.
They've got this sign said the American Express Stadium, and I was like, it's not called that. It's called the Amex. And I was like, I get it now. I just took it as like, when it's called the City of Manchester Stadium, then it was called Eastlands, and now it's called the Etihad. It was just like different terminology for it. I was like, oh yeah, that is what it's called. Because I thought the American Express cards. People say the Amexes, and I was like, so it was all going through my head, and I was like, trying to distract myself during the game. But no, I was extremely happy with that performance. Perfect result. Move on to the next one. 7 to go.
7 to go indeed.
7 to go. Then my attention just turned straight to Old Trafford and was like, come on, Ten Hag, I've been giving you nothing but praise all season.
And your mate Maguire as well, and got mentioned for him later on, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I'll be speaking about him.
I didn't watch the Man United Liverpool game, but from what I've seen and heard, it seemed like the first half anyway that I think Klopp would be fuming. They weren't 3 or 4-0 up.
So the game started off a bit chaotic, and it sort of went how it was going to go through the rest of the game. Garnacho had a goal disallowed for offside, which, if I was a United fan, Bruno Fernandes it sounds like it took 3 seconds to make a pass when he should have made it in 1. You can see it coming, and you hear like Neville discussing. You hold your breath, and he groans when he makes the pass because everyone knows he's offside.
So late, yeah.
And he could have done it snapshot, and it would have been 1-0 United. But then the game then settled down a little. I say settled down. Liverpool took control, and they made it like a training ground game. They had chance after chance after chance. They're very wasteful, though, Liverpool. They have a lot of rash, chaotic players.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that word. They have Salah's the only difference in that. But yeah, Núñez and Diaz. I think Diaz is a good player. I don't think Arsenal would take him. I think he played for Tottenham, obviously, but he wouldn't start every week. And it's same for Arsenal and City and Núñez. Yeah, he is Darwin Núñez. Like he's brilliant, but he's also absolutely awful. And it was summed up in the chances they had, I think, and sort of jumping ahead. But Diaz late in the game when he blazes one over the bar, Núñez when it falls to him and he just sort of shot.
He has to cut it back to Szoboszlai or smash it.
Yes, an
easy
option,
either.
but that just sums him up. Whereas Salah is the total difference. His goal scoring record is what he's done for Liverpool has been incredible. And this Liverpool team, yeah, they're chaotic and they're that rock and roll term that gets thrown around, but I think that just doesn't help them really. They're not composed in front of goal. Diaz, Núñez, they miss Jota, I think, when he's not playing. So I think not it will cost them, but I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, they're very chaotic. And Joshua, actually, I completely forgot about him. He seems a bit of a cool head, doesn't he? I think Carragher even said he's one of their best finishers they've had in the last 5-6 years. Diaz, for me, I really like him as a player, but he's a 28-year-old, 29-year-old who plays like a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah, yeah. He's not. I don't think Diaz.
But he was a great finish for his goal. Like he was great, and I think Núñez is the same. Like he's chaotic, but would I want him? I don't know. Like we have a player in Havertz who I'm not comparing the two, but Havertz is a bit chaotic, and he does a lot of the hard work. He runs the hard miles. He makes defenders' lives hell. He's not particularly clean striking the ball or with his first touch, but he does a lot, and he helps other players who are clean. Because a bit like Gabriel as well, he's just a bit of a, how do I say it?
A bit
like Antonio as well. Like we mentioned, Antonio, he comes in, he's playing really well for West Ham recently. They're them sort of players that they're not quite as crafted as like an Odegaard or a Salah or a De Bruyne, but I do think you need that mix. But maybe Liverpool have maybe a little bit too many of them. Maybe you don't want two in your front three.
Yeah, their team, I think, it's just very different to what we've seen Klopp have in last 3 or 4 seasons. But but like the game itself, it was that first half was could have been 3 or 4. They had plenty of counter attacks and chances, but I think United have been like right coming at half time and gone right. We're only 1-0 down here. We almost got away with it, and then that's when it comes out in the second half. The whole momentum shifts, doesn't it? And Man United get back in the game.
Well, Liverpool took the lead in the first half. It was a Robertson corner flicked on from Núñez and smashed home by Luis Diaz, and that's what them two can bring. They can bring that bit of chaos to a constructed situation as a corner is. Núñez makes the run. Diaz leaves Manu and makes it 1-0. Neville was not slating Manu himself, but slating his role in the team of what he was doing in that game, because what Ten Hag had set that midfield up for, it was like watching at times an under-15s game where it was just, when you first move into 11-a-side of pitches as like a 14 and 15-year-old kid, and the pitches are far too big for you.
Just chasing the ball.
And there's so much space.
Yeah.
Because everyone just wants to score goals because the goalkeeper's tiny and the goals are big, so everyone just thinks there's so much space. Yeah. And there was one thing, Szoboszlai picked the ball up in like midway through his own half and just waltzed through the whole pitch to the other box.
We saw this from the first game of the season. United, again, I mentioned earlier, United Wolves, and Cunha and Neto and whoever else, Sarabia, were just charging through United's midfield. It's different, slightly different to what it is now. They've got Casemiro. Their main three now is Casemiro, Manu, and Fernandes, but there's no connection. There's no chemistry between them. Manu's 18 years old, being thrown in, trying to deal with whatever's going on. Casemiro's an aging player, but has been there and done it and doing his own thing and charging around. Fouls, yellow cards, red cards, and Bruno Fernandes.
That performance he put in yesterday.
The less we talk about him, the better. But he's just doing his own thing. He's the number 10. He thinks he's the captain and the big man, and he just charges around, flicking it. He scored a brilliant goal, but there's just not. The midfield is the issue. Is a massive issue with Man United, and it's just there's no. I don't know if it's Ten Hag not coaching them or telling them how he wants to play, or they're not communicating and they've not figured out how to play with each other. It's just a total mess.
But like we've mentioned a load of times in this podcast, football, as cliche as it sounds, is all about moments and things and just turning the dial. That's why we all love it. And Quansah makes a sloppy pass. I'm not even going to say it's a mistake because he's 50 yards away from his goal. He's made a sideways pass. It isn't the best pass. Fernandes, all of a sudden, his eyes light up. Fantastic finish. Like, that is an outrageously good technique. Get it over the goalkeeper. I thought the goalkeeper was very lucky not to touch that.
So close to it.
He dives it. He dives to try handle it. If he handles that, would you rather be 1-1 or down to 10 men? Liverpool probably would have rather down to 10 men, actually, think about it. But although saying that, Adrian would have come in goal, and that could have gone very badly. But fantastic finish. And then that just, for a Man United team who haven't had a shot, the first shot, and there's that great screenshot, basically the shot map, whatever it is. And United have one from 50 yards out, and Liverpool have 19. But that is football. Like you said, going back to stats and things, they can all throw things at you. One mistake. Yeah. And I do think Man United have got these players that can capitalise on these moments. They're moments players. They're a shambles of a squad being assembled and what formation on what tactics they play. I don't think anyone knows. I don't think the players know, and I think that was quite clear in that performance.
I think the week in general, from the Chelsea game to yesterday, you see how they're thinking. Like Chelsea, they're 3-2 up and they're charging forward. People are overlapping and trying to score their fourth, but and then they lose the game 4-3, and they look at each other like thinking, bloody hell, why? But well, you just got to look at yourselves. I think this week just sums up Man United and what state they're in. But
they've just got, for me, they've got individual players that can do individual bits of quality. And you saw that with the 2 goals, and it was Manu got the ball, touch, and bent one into the corner. What a finish. It reminded me of Makeda's goal back in the day.
Yeah.
Lovely finish. Make it 2-1. And if I were a Liverpool fan, the world's shell-shocked doesn't even do it justice. Like, you've just dominated this game, and you're 2-1 down. Like, how has this happened? Through literally one mistake. And you're 2-1 down, and that goes back to what we said earlier about how, whether it's Anfield or it's Old Trafford, those 2 grounds especially are so hard to play at any stage of any season, and that gives me a little bit of the jitters that I know we've got them second from last game of the season.
It's don't matter how bad United are playing, you've still got to go. That's your hardest fixture left. Spurs.
Sorry,
I forgot about that. Because I was thinking about United. Because United have got an easy game, but apart from Arsenal at home. But you go there, and like we said earlier, but the form goes out the window. Moments could happen. Fernandes could score a free kick, or Højlund might pull something out of the bag. You don't know. Anything could happen. But I can't see Arsenal or City. I know City don't go there, but I can't see if Arsenal or City play them. I don't see that happening. So interestingly enough, after the game, there was a quote from Klopp, and whether it's mind games or what, and one of the reporters asked him, saying, Arsenal have got to go here, it's a tough game for them. And he responded basically straight face, said, Arsenal are a very good football team. If they play well, they win here. Strange one, isn't it? Cause like, what's he saying about his own team?
He's saying they didn't play well.
Right. Yeah.
I think basically. But that should be. You could quote me and cut this out when we lose there. But if Arsenal play their game like they should have, Liverpool should have been 3-0 up at half time. They should have been.
No, but I'm with you. And again, I'm going about it. But the Wolves game, Wolves are well coached, and their manager has noticed what they can and can't do. And that first game of the season, they should have won that game, and decisions didn't go their way. But they were by far the better team. So but then again, Tottenham, we went there, we played well, we drew 2-2. Liverpool are a good team. Yes, they could have been 3-4 up, but they've drawn as well. So it's still that factor of Old Trafford and Man United. But but your game there sums them up perfectly. I think when in the first minute, what's his name, Højlund is a good prospect, stunning finish. Rashford, who's been an absolute abysmal all season, turns into Pele for 30 minutes, and then you're 2-1 down from nothing. They've had 2 shots. But then we go into it. But it's
Liverpool needed to make that game. They need to dominate the ball and not make it end to end, because you can't. If you just dominate Man United, I think that's how Man City played against them. They just battered them, didn't they? They don't make it end to end, because they can get you on the counter attack. They've got pace in behind. They've got their 3-4 attacking good players. Yeah,
Liverpool could have killed them in the.
Liverpool just needed to slow down, make some passes, make some patterns of play, and that would effectively get them back in the game. And that's what they did. They made a couple of changes after they went 2-1. Elliott came on, who was very good when he came on. Cut inside. Was fouled straight away. Everyone thought penalty. I personally still think it's a penalty. I know there's no real contact, if any, but he dives in there, and it's one of the ones. If you made it outside the box and he slides in there, the player always jumps over them so he doesn't get hurt. He's jumped over him, I think, so he doesn't get hurt. there isn't contact, but it's a
Yeah,
stupid challenge to
Like I
make.
said, I didn't watch it live and saw the highlights, but yeah, from my point, when you watch the replays and they slow it right down, it's obviously no contact and all the rest of it. But you're right, in the moment, and he's lunging inside the box in such a way, and Elliot makes the perfect movement, touches the ball away, jumps over. But yeah, I think again the slow mo's, like we say a lot of time, kills the whole moment itself. But yeah, or maybe give the refs that one.
And it was 10 minutes to go. Both teams did have chance to win it. Man United could have won it. I think, like I said, Diaz had that chance. Nunes had that chance, and I was getting a bit stressed watching it. I thought, buddy, I've been a Man United fan for 90 minutes, and I feel like this.
Yeah, never again.
Imagine I have to watch this thing these all season. Oh my god! But it ended up being a draw, and Liverpool have had, I think it's 90 shots in 3 games against Man United, and haven't won any of them. And they'll be kicking themselves. That is,
I think
2 points dropped.
You saw at the end when he was obviously fuming. Just no real emotion expression on his face. But yeah, 2 points dropped. But then again, like we keep saying, that fixture going to Old Trafford, okay, they probably should have won the game. But yeah, not avoiding defeat in the way it went 2-1 down. I think they sort of go right next. We move on. So,
and like I said, it's not disastrous. The table stands: Arsenal top 71, Liverpool second 71, just separated by, I guess, 9 goal difference, and then Man City 70. So it's pretty much as tight as it is.
Yeah.
Strange enough, it was actually very similar to the season 2013-14. I think at this stage you had Liverpool, City, Chelsea all separated by 1 point. So it has been seen before. Then Chelsea then dropped off, and then that was the Gerrard slip season. That season, then the Christian ball. Maybe we get one of those this weekend at Anfield. No. Never know.
Can't see it. Who've Arsenal got?
Villa at home. Unai.
Emery.
Unai's rested his players in the Etihad. I wonder if he makes buddy 8 changes already did for his European game.
Because they play. Is that Sunday then, your game? Oh, that's going to be awful. That's just Arsenal win.
Nice. Unai Emery's got a good record.
No, not post Europe.
We're post Europe.
No. Thursday, Sunday is like Zeds is so boring. So yeah, Arsenal win at home.
Well, I hope he he brings the same energy he brought to the Etihad, and his goalkeeper feels. Martinez is not feeling sick 25 minutes before kickoff on Sunday.
Had a bad tummy.
Oh yeah, let's see how bad his tummy is when he's at the Emirates getting booed. He'll love it, won't he?
I just wanted to waste.
And he's taking
so much time,
10 minutes per goal kick,
doing his weird little jiggle to the fans.
Yeah, I just.
You'll win.
Like you what? The cameras, because it's on Sky. Cameras be there. Emery will get his extra 12p gel and put a bit more extra brill cream in his hair. And
you'll win. Don't worry.
Probably won't clean his teeth for the couple of days, so they're extra yellow, ready for the cameras.
Good evening.
But yeah, now we've got Villa at home. The City got Luton at home, and
Liverpool got
Palace at home. Liverpool was on Sunday. Arsenal Sunday, and City is the 3:00 game. So it'll be interesting weekend.
Do you think anyone drops points this week?
No comment.
I know you. Not that you think Arsenal, but
I don't know. I think
Arsenal's the hardest
on
fixture,
paper we're the hardest ones.
Definitely.
I would be extremely disappointed if we did.
But yeah, you win.
I think out of the 2 games that could, you got maybe Crystal Palace could do something. Weirdly enough, they've got a reasonably.
They do have a weird record against
against
Liverpool. Sorry, at Anfield.
I don't think they were a shambles against. Against Man City.
No.
And Sheffield United gave as good as they got against Liverpool as well. Right.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to part 3?
Yes.
And team of the week?
Yep.
Or do you want to do prediction first?
Let's do prediction.
Right. Is it my...
Yeah, it's your go.
My go? Right.
Yeah, the trusty app.
Let's have a look. Flash score. Saturday. Premier League. Oh, you're away at Newcastle.
Yeah,
12:30
on Saturday.
Tough game.
Very tough.
Championship. I'm actually going to go La Liga. And let's go Mallorca versus Real Madrid.
Oh.
Mallorca versus Real Madrid. The
Mallorca.
Samuel Eto'o derby.
I'm going to go 2-0 Madrid.
How do you reckon they'll get on against City?
I think a draw at Bernabeu.
Same as last year.
I think after going there and experiencing it and seeing it firsthand, I think that's a very, very difficult stadium. And City, obviously, Man City, but I don't think they're as good as they've been. They're still incredible and they beat 99% of people in the world. But yeah, I say draw, score draw. I think.
You know, if City go there and get a win, that is absolutely massive. I'm going to go Mallorca 1, Real Madrid 3.
Nice.
Right, team of the week. Our goalkeeper is the vote this week, so we'll put that up on the socials shortly after the podcast. And it's between David Raya and Thomas Kaminski. Have I said that correctly?
Yeah, I think so. Raya actually had to play goal this weekend.
Yeah, he made his most saves of 2024 in a game on Saturday, and that was 2.
Bloody hell, he must be knackered. Will he play in this week or need a rest?
I think he's made probably 6 saves this year. Another clean sheet. I think it's 13 now for the season. Mainly for his good save in the first half that we put him in there for. And he's been, touch wood, don't want to jinx it, he's been pretty solid since the turn of the year. And he looks at home in the Arsenal shirt now. The talk of Ramsdale is now completely gone.
It's gone, yeah.
And he looks now like he's grown into the goalkeeper. We knew he was at Brentford. And the other goalkeeper, Thomas Kaminski, was part of the winning team against Bournemouth. Made plenty of good saves and got their first 3 points for 10 games, I think, maybe of the year.
Yeah, they're plucky old Luton, aren't they? But yeah, it's one of those arguments with the goalies. Like Kaminski, is he just put under a load of pressure so he looks like he's making loads of saves, or is he actually a bad goalie, or is he good? And it's just one of those. But yeah, he's very, very busy goalkeeper, and it was no different at the weekend.
Right, I'm going to take the first defender,
Yeah.
and I actually apologised to him in our group chat, and it's Harry Maguire. I mean, I've given him lots of stick, like lots of people have given him lots of stick, but credit was due. On Sunday against Liverpool, I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and especially with a chopping and changing defence that they seem to have all the time at United. He was next to, I don't want to pronounce his name, but it's some young centre half.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Callie Willie, I want to say something like that.
Oh yeah, I couldn't
but
tell you.
Absolutely fantastic, and I thought he held that defence together quite well, as the midfield was just an abomination.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Harry Maguire.
Next defender, I've gone for Mickey van der Ven. Scored last night. Absolutely. Yeah, I think he said it himself. He just got it and banged it. So yeah, just absolutely smashed it into the top corner. But yeah, he's just a very, very good player, and another good performance from Mickey van der Ven.
The first midfielder we've gone for is Bruno Guimaraes. A goal and a very important performance for Newcastle, keeping them in that hunt for Europe. They're slight outsiders behind United and West Ham, but they're plucking in there, and a 1-0 win away from home against Fulham. That's a hard place to go, and Liverpool have got to go there, and Man City have got to go there. So a 1-0 win there is a good result.
Yep, second midfielder, we've gone for Kevin De Bruyne. 2 goals at the weekend. Both pretty good goals, but obviously his first one, the pick of the bunch. But yeah, just another Kevin De Bruyne performance for Man City, and yeah, 2 goals and help them in their win and continue their charge for the title.
And up front, we've gone for my mate Brian Mbembo. His first goal on his first start back from injury. He's been out for injury for about 3 months, I think. I really, really like him. I don't know what it's about him. He just looks left little stocky player, plays in the front 2. He's a good finisher. Great beard, looks about 40, but 23.
He's only 19.
But no, very good player and a good goal, and good performance to cap off a 3-3 draw at Aston Villa. So Brian Mbembo.
Yep, no, good. So that's our, like we said, vote for the goalie, Raya or Kaminski, Harry Maguire, Mickey van der Ven, Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Guimaraes, and Brian Mbeumo.
Fantastic. Right, do you want to give us your winner of the week?
Yes, my winner of the week is the captain and left back of Peterborough, Harrison Burrows. He scored scored twice in the EFL Trophy over the weekend. The captain who came through the academy at Peterborough scored, like I said, 2 late goals. One of them was like a weird lofted free kick thing. But yeah, he 10 years ago, I assume to the day or recent last few days, 10 years ago he was in the stands watching Peterborough win the last EFL Trophy at Wembley. So yeah, 10 years on, and Burrows as the captain and scored twice in their 2-1 win over Wycombe. So Harrison Burrows, a lovely story for them and for him and Peterborough. Win of the week, Harrison Burrows.
Perfect. My win of the week is Athletic Bilbao. They ended their run of 6 consecutive Copa del Rey final defeats as they won it in a penalty shootout against Real Mallorca, ending a 40-year wait for silverware. They clinched their 24th Copa del Rey title and first since 1984, and only Barcelona have won the competition more times than them. And for a unique little club and their philosophy of only fielding players from like the Basque origin is quite a unique thing in club football.
Mm-hmm.
And then for them to win their first trophy in 40 years, and I've seen some of the celebrations online, it looks pretty special. So well done to Athletic Bilbao.
Do you want to carry on with your loser of the week?
My loser of the week, wasn't too sure on this one. There's a few contenders, but I've gone for Vincent Kompany. And when I saw it, I thought, no, straight away, that is exactly who I'm picking. His philosophy simply isn't working. The goalkeeper, they've gone away to Burnley, who have gone away to Everton, sorry.
Oh, God, yeah.
Who just
Jesus, yeah.
have been dire this year. No win since December the 16th. Like, that's a place that you could probably might be able to nick a point or get a win. And when your goalkeeper's pissing around with that, because you've told him to do that, like the Burnley of old, Sean Dyche's Burnley is just lump it long and net the knockdowns. And I get he wants to implement a style of play, but sometimes you need to learn when and when not to do it. But my biggest reason he's lose the week, I know all managers do it, and some more than others. He always bemoans the officials or something's gone wrong in the game at the press match conference. That he never takes accountability for. But mainly, the reason he has to be loser of the week is that he continues to wear that bloody white tee, blazer, and cap every game with trainers. What on earth are you doing? Like, I get the old smart casual thing that Pep introduced, but you can't mix Pep with Tony Pulis and a cap. Like, what are you doing?
Club shop as well.
Like, what are you doing? Like, it just looks an absolute shame. I get, like, he hasn't got, like, the best looking head shape in the world, but come on, mate. Just, no. Vincent Kompany lose the week.
Very nice. My lose the week, I can't wait for the eye roll, but Ben White.
Again, that's the third time this season.
No, second.
Third.
Is it? Well,
Blonde
he deserves
hair,
Yeah.
England squad.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Now.
Well, hat-trick for Ben White.
Bloody hell.
For his disgraceful display of acting, diving against Brighton in the second half. Espina for Brighton lightly pressed against Ben White's face, and Ben White went down like he'd slit his throat. So, yeah, it was just embarrassing, and I can't avoid mentioning him. So, yeah, hat-trick for Ben White, but that was awful, absolutely awful.
What about when Lewis Dunk did this? Quite similar.
Well, it doesn't bother me. Ben White definitely bothers me. That was awful. That was embarrassing.
So
No, stop.
No.
You can't defend that.
No, I'm not defending it, but I thought you'd give him loose of the week for that.
That is.
But if he doesn't do it, it doesn't get looked at for VAR.
Even if it got looked at, and it's not a red card or a yellow card.
No, I know, but he knows that he's raised his hand, which letter of the law you can't do. I mean, I'm not saying it should be a red card, but if he doesn't do it, he doesn't even looked at once.
He shouldn't be doing that. Come on, you shouldn't be doing your right back, English right back, should not be doing that.
Yeah,
terrible. I'd give it every week for his permatam, but I won't.
Hat trick.
There we go. Ben White, if you're listening.
Right. Teaser.
Yes.
There was an entertaining 3-3 draw in the Old Firm derby yesterday afternoon. But can you name the Scotsman who has scored the most Premier League goals?
Right, I have to think for a little bit. But first, as soon as you said it was your mate, so that's my guess, is Stephen Fletcher.
Stephen Fletcher is number 3.
Okay. Premier League, so it can't be Dalglish.
No.
Okay. Scottish goal scorers. Oh, it's got to be Big Dunk.
Big Duncan Ferguson, number 1.
Is he? Yes.
Number 1. 68 goals. Number 2 was a player I've never ever heard of before. Kevin Gallagher.
Did he have a team? Sunderland?
He did. I can't remember what it was now.
Never heard of him.
And number 4, if you want to take a midfielder.
Midfielder. Scottish midfielder.
Same era as Duncan Ferguson.
Ooh. No idea.
Gary McAllister.
Gary McAllister, I would never have got to.
Who actually shares the same birthday as me as well.
Ah.
It's him and Paolo Wanchop.
Very good.
But no, but that wraps up episode 91. Yeah,
91.
so well done, Duncan. Big Dunk.
Big Dunk. Yeah.
Hey, you got two of the top 4. Yeah, Duncan Ferguson, Kevin Gallagher, Stephen Fletcher, and Gary McAllister.
Stephen, if you're listening, mate, still waiting.
Right. So yeah, that wraps up episode 92. We're back next week with another title deciders and
it's hard to
Champions
avoid
League talks.
I said tape, it's hard to avoid the discussion of the title challenge and teams, but yes, the main thing that's happening, obviously top 4 is still going on, but I think the relegation 2 are pretty much gone, aren't they? So
although Everton did get docked 2 points today,
true.
So maybe touch on them. I think they've got a interesting game that weekend. I can't remember. But no, thank you all again for listening. Thank you again for being very active on the socials, and we will see you next week. Stay loyal.
Stay loyal.